Hey guys, I know it's been a long time since I've had a video out, so apologies for the wait, but here's another video. Stick around at the end and I'll kind of talk more about what's going on in my life right now. Afternoon guys. So back at it. Yeah, working full-time job really cuts into homework and video making and making knives, all that. Whew. So anyway, this video isn't really going to be about anything specific. It's just me continuing to work on the Ohana. What I'm working on now is I'm actually digging a trench so that I can run conduit from the house down to the Ohana. So initially, we're going to power, the Ohana will be powered, on grid, essentially, coming from the house. Down the road, I do plan on getting a solar system, and that will be installed at that point. But the way that I'm putting the system in, I'm putting a three-way disconnect, which you'll see later in this video. So basically, I can switch between solar and grid power. And then I'll see what else I get to on this video. I'm not sure. Just trying to put something out so that I can have a video, because I know it's been a few weeks to a month even since my last video. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and let's get to work. So I am at the front of the house. This is the lanai, and you can see I started digging a trench. Freya, what are you doing? Freya is very interested in helping. So basically I just cut the grass out, which is this line over here, starting to dig. Luckily there's quite a bit of cinder in here, but there are quite a bit of rocks as well. So at some point when the house was built, they had to build a pad, so there's probably a lot of large rocks, similar to like this pile here, 6-inch, 8-inch rocks, 5-inch rocks, whatever the size is underneath, which I'm already hitting a couple. I pulled like one there and then a smaller one. So I'm going to dig this as deep as I can, but if I start getting into big rocks, then obviously I'm not going to go any deeper. So oh, we got a new dog. This is Freya, as you can probably read on the collar. She's a Mastiff. She has a condition called cherry eyes. It's basically like the tear duct comes out, the gland comes out of her eyeball. So it makes her look even scarier. But she's a good girl. So I'm going to continue digging this, and I have conduit that's going to go in here. And basically I'm coming kind of at an angle. So this post is kind of in line with the wall in the house. In the bathroom is where the breaker panel is. So essentially I'm adding a 60 amp breaker in there, and then that's going to power the Ohana. Conduit's going to run here down to the Ohana, which you can kind of barely see through the trees and stuff there. So I will continue on and try and get this done before I film any more. All right, so I am down behind the Ohana, and yes, I still have not painted that. It's on the back side, so you don't see it, you don't think about it. So anyway, several more weeks have passed since I was first digging the trench, which I'm still working on that. But what I am going to start doing, the trench is about done, so I'm going to start running the lines. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting this disconnect box mounted, or I just mounted it. And basically what this is it has a three-way switch here. So in the middle like that is off, disconnected. If you put it down, it connects to one line, which will be the line coming from the house. If you push up, it connects to another line, which will eventually be solar once I get solar on here. So that way I can go, I'll run off the solar, and then if needed, I can go from the house onto grid if I need grid for whatever reason the solar goes down, or vice versa. Anyway, this is a 3-way disconnect box for that. So the line coming from the house is going to go into here. This will connect into the breaker panel inside the Ohana. So yeah, let me get back up top. Keeps raining off and on, so I'm going to try and get, it's kind of sunny right now though. So I'm going to try and get some of that piping put in place. That was pretty cool. So I've been so busy, you know, working on the other side, Kona side, building the house that I'm working on right now. But I did end up taking a week off, and during that time, my brother-in-laws came down to visit. And while they were here, they wanted to help work on the Ohana. And I'm like, well, I don't really have anything I can do right now, but we decided to do some of the drywall. So that time lapse kind of shows behind me here. So the living room area is done. Let me turn the camera around. So the living room area is for the most part done. Let me go ultra wide mode here. And then up here, pretty much all done. This is what I wanted to do while they were here, because this is the hardest part, you know, lifting all of this drywall up here. And the drywall is done on both sides, cut out around the windows. And then we also did a couple sheets in here on this wall. This area is going to stay open because I still have to do plumbing and everything. All of the electrical though is done, with the exception of this one wire up here that's coiled. That will get placed once I actually start working on the deck and the roof out there, because I want to put an outlet here because one of the switches will power that outlet, which will turn on lights. So that's the only thing that's not run yet, is that. Everything else is run. All of the home runs are here, ready to be terminated. I'm working on getting the wiring down to here. So, and the box I just mounted is right on the outside of this wall, somewhere like in this area, probably here. I think because I mounted it on a stud, and I think that's the stud that I mounted it on. So I think it's like right there. So basically that's going to have a line that's going to come through. It'll come through the wall, and then it'll go up into the breaker box. Now there's a hole to the outside. So I got this access point punched out. I have the adapter put in, and I've drilled a hole through to the outside. So let's go outside and take a look. All right, so I added that piece on. Nothing is glued yet, actually, because I don't have any glue. So I got to run to Home Depot before I can start putting some of this piping together to run up to the house. And I'll trim that a little shorter so it's tighter against the wall. Basically, that's where it comes out of the top of the breaker panel. So it'll run straight down here, and it'll 90 into the box here. So I'll get another one of those connectors, and it'll go here. And then from here we'll go down, and then to the house. So in the morning I'm going to run to Home Depot so I can get the glue, keep going. So you guys want to know why I'm not getting any work done on the Ohana. This is the house that I'm building over here in Captain Cook. Months of groundwork, footings, rebar, tying rebar, building the forms for the stem walls, pouring the stem walls, pouring a pad inside, building the deck. That's going to be a garage over there. It's going to have a studio above it, but cannot complain about the view. So that's why I'm not getting much done on the Ohana. I'm doing this to get money to pay for more stuff for the Ohana. So, all right. thought I'd let you guys see. And also the big pile that's right here. So this is what it looks like after Taylor was done chipping all the wood. And then he basically took the wood chips and kind of spread them around. And then over behind the house, you can see how clear it is back there now, which is about where I'm gonna go. So let me get over there. So there's actually a big, this is solid lava or solid rock right there. So another time down the road, Taylor's gonna come back. He's gonna break this up and then use all that to build a pad here. This is where the carport's gonna be. So coming off the side of the house, I'm going to basically run a beam out. There will be a post coming down. The roof will come out this way, and then there will be a short roof behind the house that'll go that way. Underneath that side of the short roof is where the catchment, water pump, all that kind of stuff is going to go back there. And then the carport will be right here. So let me go behind the house. So you can see my conduit coming down. It's kind of buried. I threw some debris on top because it's super obvious, you know, now that this is cleared to see that. So I just want it to be kind of covered up so it's not so obvious. So I dug this out a little bit because this is going to come straight down into a 90, come across 45 up and then 45 there. So what I'm about to do now is I'm going to cut this. I have my fish tape. I'm going to feed the fish tape up, connect it to the wire, and hopefully pull everything back smoothly. All right, so that came all the way through, which is good. Went through fairly easily. So I'm basically gonna tape this to that. And when I do that, and I'm going through conduit, even though this conduit's pretty big, I like to take like a piece of PEX and I cut kind of a wedge to sort of put on the, if I can get this in position, sort of put on the end of the wire like that to give it a smoother transition, and then I tape over the entire thing. I'm hoping that this is going to pull through nice just because it's big and it's, you know, stiff wire. So, and I used 1.5 inch conduit, which is probably double what this actually needs, but let's see how it goes. I'll get this taped up. Okay, so the wire is pulled through. That was not as smooth as I was hoping. Ended up having to have my wife come out and give me a hand. But it's all tangling up on that spool up there, so it wasn't wound up nicely. So now I have to go untangle it because I got to pull probably another, I don't know, 10 or 12 feet down here. All right, so we got enough pulled through now. Basically what I'm doing is I'm feeding pieces on, and then I'm going to glue them up and then build the conduit out this way until I can build it up into the box. So let me get that done. All right, so that is done. So the conduit is completely together and completely glued up all the way to underneath the house. This one is cut. And basically what happens in here is this middle one is where the two hot wires go. Then I guess it would be the ground or the neutral would be down here. And then you have one line. So that's the incoming. Sorry, that's the outgoing. The incoming would be here. So basically down the road when I have solar, it'll come in on one side, power from the house or the grid essentially will come in from the other side. And then it goes to the Ohana. And then you switch in between on this. So in the middle position is off, down is one way, up is the other way. So down would be like grid power, up would be solar, essentially. So this part is not glued yet. I'm waiting until I paint behind here before I actually glue that in. And as you can see, it's raining. So I'm gonna wait for another day to do that. But this is all done up to this box, so that's a big milestone. Okay, so I got it painted behind here, and then this conduit is now glued in. So I'm going to pull this cap off, and then I'm going to run the wire from the circuit breaker panel, which is right on the other side of the wall here, out and then down into this disconnect panel. So let me get that going. All right, so wire's coming through there and then sticking out the top, so I just have to turn it, push it in through there, put the cap back on, and then this stuff will get disconnected later on to the circuit breaker panel. This one's coming from the house, and then eventually once I get solar on here, solar will also come in here, and then you can switch between the solar and on-grid power. Yeah. All right, and that is the wires run into the Ohana, and I got them the outside shielding stripped off and opened up, so this is ready to be terminated. Yeah. I won't get to this in this video because I haven't even bought any of the breakers for this yet. Those two that are in there came with the panel when I bought it. So that's as far as this is going to get. I need to go work on the other side, getting the wire into the house. All right, so I am in the bathroom in my house. This is where my breaker panel is in the house. The panel cover is off, obviously. And this is live. I mean, I'm not touching anything in here. I took it off just so I could see where the beams were, or the studs, so that I could cut out this piece of drywall to give me access. So what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to drill a hole in there that'll go down below the house, and then in the front of the house where the conduit I buried came up and it's running under the porch, I'll have to bring the wire the rest of the way under the house up to this point, and then it'll come up in here. I'll get some of these fixtures. I don't know, I can't remember what those are called. Basically like a feed through. So I'll get a couple of those so that I can run my wire up in. And essentially what's going to happen is these, I will be replacing a bunch of these breakers, if this is focusing. And what I'm going to be replacing them with is these here. So these are basically, it's like a double breaker. Is this focusing? This doesn't look like it's focusing to me. Okay, so as I was saying, I'm going to be replacing these single breakers with these double breakers. So essentially what it's going to do is to shrink my breakers down. So everyone that's a 20 will now become, you know, these two 20s will go into this 20, and so on. So of course I'll shut off power for this, and again, like, I'm not a professional electrician, and if this is something you're not comfortable with, then please don't try to do it. Hire someone to do it. But I'll basically turn off my disconnect to the house so that there's no power coming into the house. I'll double check it on here with my multimeter to make sure there's no power coming in. And then once that's all clear, then I'll start pulling these out and replacing them with these. And what that's going to do is it's going to free up space in here, because right now this breaker panel is completely full. So it's going to free up space in here to move all those up, and then this will be like the, so this one's going to be for the shop. This is a 70 amp breaker, and then this one is for the Ohana, which is a 60 amp breaker. I don't know if I actually need a 60 amp for the Ohana. I probably could have got a 50 or a 40 even, but I just wanted to have the 60 in case. I can always swap it out later. So let me continue, I guess, getting the wire run up to this point, getting a hole drilled. All right, so as you can see, there's actually two holes that I put there, and this is the wire coming from the Ohana. So it is routed here now. I still need to do some tying in under the house, but I have to go and get some staples big enough for that size wire, or O-rings or something to tack it up along underneath the house. So this is here now. So that's nice. All right, so the wire is now fully tied in here. And it's all tied in there. And I'll tie it in here. That's where it goes through the floor to the bathroom. All right, so all the breakers are now swapped out. You can see my two big breakers are off. Any of them that are still singles, they're extras. And then a couple of the doubles, there's no wire going into it either, so those ones are off as well. So basically what I did was just everything moved up, made room for the big ones, and then also gave me some extra spaces. And there actually is one slot on the bottom, so another breaker could actually go in there on the bottom if I need down the road for anything. So this is done. Next thing will be I have to get those feed throughs to bring the wire from down here into the panel and then hook it up. And basically it's going to be hooked up exactly like this one. This is my hot water breaker. So you have your two, your red and your black are going into here. And then you have your neutral or white is going into here, which is this large gray wire. If you see that in the middle, we're not going to touch it. And then over on this side, you have your ground going into there. So this will be wired up exactly the same way. Red and black will go into here, white, ground, same with the shop, red, black, white, and ground. All right, so back in the Ohana, I'm actually working on running my last wire or set of wires that I need to run is going to be for the smoke detectors, which this one is different. It is a 4-conductor essentially. So if you see how it has a white, black, red, and ground. So the red wire is a traveler. I might have talked about this in previous videos, but you use the same wiring when you're doing a 3-way switch. So you need one wire that travels through everything. So the smoke detectors, when they're wired up, are the same way. You have to have a traveler wire that goes through all of the smoke detectors. So I'm working on running that last wire going through there. Coming here, there's going to be a smoke detector here in the kitchen, and then it's going to go up, and there will be a smoke detector outside of the bedroom door, essentially. So I'm going to continue working on that. I'm also going to run to town today and get grounding rods and start getting the circuit breakers and stuff so that I can get the wiring on this completely buttoned up. But I think I'm going to end this video just so I can get a video out because it's been so long. All right, so as I said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Yeah, this one's been really long. I mean, it's been months since I've had a video out, probably over 3 months. I've just been really busy. Basically what's happening is I'm working full time again. Honestly, I'm working like 80 hours a week right now. So I have the house that I'm building over in Kona, which I did a little video to kind of show you guys the house I'm working on over there. It's a really big project, and it's taking a long time. So I'm essentially working 4 10-hour days there, but I'm driving over every day. So I'm doing essentially 60 hours in 4 days. Then on Fridays and Saturdays, I am working in my shop, working on knives, blacksmithing, doing that kind of stuff. So there's another, couple 8-hour days there. And then on Sundays, I'm at Maku'u Farmers Market every Sunday. My wife and I are permanent vendors there now, so we're there every Sunday. We're in the same spot. If you guys are ever visiting and you want to meet me, whatever, then that's where I'll be at. We're always there every Sunday. We haven't missed one since January. since we started. We did a few last year, and we also did farmers markets in a couple other locations just to kind of see the traffic and what kind of sales we got. Anyway, so between building the house in Kona, working in the shop, and the farmers market, like I said, I'm doing probably 80 hours a week, which doesn't leave a lot of time for working on the Ohana, unfortunately. But things are still happening. Now that I'm making money again, we're continuing to buy stuff for the Ohana that we need materials-wise. We had some work done, like I had the wood chipped out here. The electrical is just about complete. So I am working on it a little bit here and there, just not full-time like I was before. I actually took a week off of work this week. So today is Wednesday. I want to have this video done so it'll be released on Friday. Monday was Memorial Day, so it was kind of a short week already. So I just took the rest of the week off, which it's not like I have vacation time, so I'm just not getting paid because I'm not working at a job. So anyway, that's why there hasn't been a lot of progress on the Ohana. I am still working on it. I want to get this done, obviously. I will be starting on the plumbing very soon, and I will be starting on building a lanai, so the front porch, essentially. I'm going to be starting on that soon because I want to get that done and out. Additionally, there will be a carport that comes off the side here. There will be a small area in the back here where we will have a catchment tank and water pump, and all that kind of stuff is going to go in that area. So as the plumbing comes online, I want to be able to start actually using it. But yeah, it's still going. We're at, a year and a half into this project, unfortunately. But that's Hawaii time, man. This would be different if this was going to be our house that we were going to be living in, and I'd want to get it done, ASAP, obviously. But since this is going to be used for, additional income, revenue stream, whether we do Airbnb or we just rent it out month to month, I don't know what's going to happen because they are constantly trying to change the laws for Airbnb. So we will see once it's done if we will still be able to rent on Airbnb or not. But once it's done, I'll probably do like some kind of a private thing. So if there's any viewers that want to come here and stay, can come and rent the Ohana. And I'll probably just do that through the booking through my website. Additionally, if you guys want to support me and the website and what I'm trying to do, if you go to my website, there are knives on there that are available. I usually have, 3 or 4 or 5 knives on there at any given time. They change, obviously, as knives are being sold, but if it's on my website, it's still available. So if you guys want to check that out, the link is always in the description below. But yeah, I'm going to get back to work, and I still have a few more days this week to work on this, so hopefully I'll get some more done. I don't know that I'm going to continue doing videos like this. I may just do an update video once in a while, just because it's so sporadic. I started this video, as you can see in the beginning, I'm talking, I think like, oh, it's been a few weeks since I had a video out, blah, blah, blah. And a few weeks turned into a few months. So, yeah. Anyway, now I'm just rambling. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I want to say thank you guys for watching. Thanks for tuning in. The people that messaged me and asked if I was okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm fine. I'm just super busy. So I will keep this going, and I hope to have a video out sooner than 3 months from now. So we'll see. Aloha, everyone, and I'll see you on the next video.